News the U.S. has agreed to significantly lower tariffs on China for at least the next 90 days or so. Much welcome relief, I think, to many small business owners. Some have already started or were about to feel the punishing impacts of those tariffs at 145%. That includes our next guest, Ithaca native, Cut Buddy founder, Joshua Esnard. Joshua, always good to catch up with you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Jeff. How are you doing? You look good, man.
Yeah, so I got to ask you, we kind of had a brief conversation last week when these things were at 145. Now, how are you feeling with this news that there's this at least 90-day trade agreement that drops that from like 145 to 30? Making you feel any better or still a little nervous?
Yeah, so I'm still nervous about the deal just because it's, we don't know what our government's going to do any day now. However, lowering it down to 30% reciprocal side of things is definitely allowing me to breathe a little bit better about the situation. So I'm back into a profitable zone, but I think a very important thing that people don't realize is that the tariff rate is set from the date that products board a vessel. It's not usually set the date of entry into the United States, which is a problem because many of us have already put products, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have 24,000 of these bald shavers heading to Walmart, and they will probably still be under that 145% tariff because they boarded a boat a week before the trade truce happened.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you had told me you already had an invoice with that 145 on there. So we're expecting at this point you're probably going to have to pay it. I guess it would be amazing if it turned out you didn't, but it looks like you'll probably have to eat that cost now.
I will for one shipment. Thankfully, I have 2 other shipments completing in the next week or 2. And they will fall under the new tariff truce percentages. So I'm happy about that at least.
What was that, at 145, if it were to not have this kind of deal that we're seeing and maybe a longer term arrangement, how big of an impact was that 145 going to have on your business?
I began cutting marketing consultants and marketing expenses. I took my salary down to half, which wouldn't cover my bills at all. I started talking to distributors and stores about, you might run out of stock with my product, or we might need to increase the price or slow things down. Donations to disabled veterans that we send off of our proceeds, that would have disappeared as well. So a lot of things were about to get cut. We were having those serious conversations.
And it was supposed to be a really big year for you this year, right? Like, where are you now with your product, and what were you expecting to be able to do this year?
Yeah, it's like you keep chasing this unicorn, and we felt like 2025 was our year. We had 9 products in Walmart stores, up to 3,600 stores. We have 9 products in CVS, up to 1,500 stores. We have Target, Wegmans, shout out to Wegmans, Meijer, military stores. This was the year that our hyper growth was supposed to boom, and we finally had a plan for profitability after doing all of our cash flow statements and if making things more efficient money-wise, and then boom, we got hit with these tariffs.
Yeah. Let me ask you one last one before I let you go, because I'm very curious. When you landed that deal on Shark Tank back in 2017, I can't imagine Damon ran through any of this or any of the sharks or any of this kind of economic uncertainty for a small business owner like yourself and so many others ever probably came up in the conversation.
No, tariff was never a conversation back then. I think the first time we saw tariffs as a conversation was during President Trump's first presidency. He instituted a 20% reciprocal tariff, and then Biden kept that tariff. And that was palatable. It was a shock a little bit for some items, but we were able to swallow that and still provide products. We actually did not increase our price. We lowered our prices. And then we never knew a lockdown would happen. We never knew that this tariff war would happen. So I don't know. Tomorrow, aliens might show up at this rate. We're all in a show at this point.
We'll definitely check back with you, see how you're doing here with all this. Joshua, it's always great catching up with you. Always love talking to Ithaca folks. Thanks for being here. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, what I'll say is we're going to be scrappy, and I hope that all small business inventors and owners are scrappy and make it through this. We're all together with this, all right?
Thanks, buddy.